Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well. In today's video, I'll be going through an overview of ArgoCD and how it can help automate the continuous delivery of your applications into a Kubernetes cluster. So in this video, we'll cover an overview of ArgoCD, what ArgoCD is. This is the first in a series of videos. So in future videos, we'll dive into some hands-on demonstrations, various ways that you can install ArgoCD, to see if it's a solution that can help you with your continuous deployment needs. So if you're interested in diving deeper or getting some hands-on experience, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when new videos are published. So ArgoCD is a declarative GitOps continuous delivery tool for Kubernetes. It follows the GitOps pattern of using Git repositories as a source of truth for defining the desired application state. So this basically means that all your manifests are pushed into a Git repo. That Git repo becomes a source of truth. Any changes that are made in the Git repo then are applied to the Kubernetes cluster. So let's take a look at a high-level architecture for how ArgoCD would be deployed. So there's really two components that make up ArgoCD. There's the DevOps side of the house. This is how you would interact and manage ArgoCD. So there's an ArgoCD user interface, as well as an ArgoCD CLI. These both interface with the ArgoCD server component that's deployed into the cluster. Then the developers, the way that the changes or the manifests get applied is a developer, for example, would be working on a particular piece of code, a bug fix, a feature, whatever the case may be. They push that code into the repo. There's a continuous integration pipeline that runs. That continuous integration pipeline would then build the artifacts, publish the images to the appropriate repositories, and then there would be a change that's made to the deployment manifests that also exist in the GitHub repository. Now, it's good practice to make sure that the application code is in a separate GitHub repository from the actual manifests or where the application deployment code exists. That actually interfaces with the repo server component that runs inside of the ArgoCD namespace. There are two or three other components that run inside the ArgoCD namespace. There's an app controller, there's a Redis cache database, there's also a DEX server. So ArgoCD is continually watching the GitHub repository. By default, it monitors every 3 minutes for any changes. And if any changes are detected within that Git repo, the application controller then pushes the deployment out. So in this example, we can see the GitHub repository is being monitored. If any changes are being detected, the app controller would then push the deployment in the form of an ArgoCD application. Again, ArgoCD has lots of flexible options, and we'll dive into some of these in future videos. It could be as simple as monitoring Kubernetes manifest files or YAML configuration. It has the ability to deploy based on Helm and Helm charts and Helm versions. There's a variety of plugins. For example, you can integrate into things such as Vault. So if you wanted to store some secrets, those could also be pulled into an ArgoCD application deployment as well. And then those are all rolled out, keeping in mind that the source of truth is the GitHub repository. Now, ArgoCD also has the ability to manage multiple clusters. So it's not the fact that you just have to have a single Kubernetes cluster tied to a single ArgoCD instance. You could actually have a dedicated Kubernetes cluster that's just managing all the clusters. So in this case, the DEX server would be able to push out the changes to cluster B, C, or D. Again, a variety of flexible options on how this could be deployed. So we'll get into some of the specifics. We'll build some highly available clusters. We'll deploy some applications and get our hands dirty with some of the installation here in upcoming videos. So again, I just wanted to provide you with a high-level overview of what ArgoCD continuous deployment into Kubernetes looks like. We'll dive into doing some installations. We'll deploy the ArgoCD components themselves, and then we'll start out with a sample application. So again, if you think this is something that you're going to find interesting or did find interesting, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Videos are released. Thank you.